Welcome, everybody, to the Fix-It Theater. I'm your usher, Fastenwick, and before I start today, I have one thing to say. Merry freaking Christmas! That's right, I'm coming at you with the Christmas-themed episode. So grab a mug of hot cocoa and one of the complimentary candy canes by the door, and let's roll the trailer.
But no child wants a doll who can't smile.
Now, what's this? Was that a tear that I saw, Bertha? Now, you shouldn't get yourself all unhappy and teary over thinking about your young man.
We have a certain Bertha Plummer for a daughter, who in turn was engaged to a certain Edward Belton. I am sorry, but it is my melancholy duty to inform you that a certain Edward Belton is lost at sea.
Is this our new home, Father?
Well, you won't be paid anything, but you can live on the premises and there'll be leftover food for you.
I couldn't help myself. See, that's the way it is with us crickets. We get involved.
Oh, Cricket, you're the luckiest thing that ever happened to anyone.
So, I couldn't find an official trailer. That was one I whipped up. Whatever. This movie was one of my absolute favorites growing up. So the nostalgia points for me are so freaking high. You know Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Well, Cricket Crockett is my Rudolph. He was my childhood. And about a week ago, I rewatched it for the first time in years. And I knew I needed to talk about it on my channel for Christmas. This movie was actually based on a Charles Dickens story. And because it's Charles Dickens, of course the story is gonna be good. Not that I've actually read anything by Charles Dickens, I just really like The Muppet Christmas Carol. Don't even start with me, Michael Caine is the best Ebenezer Scrooge portrayal ever. Okay, back to Cricket on the Hearth. Nostalgia aside, this movie is very up and down. It's got some moments of great animation and some moments of terrible animation. It has some great voice acting and it has some terrible voice acting. It's got moments of gold and moments of, what the frick even is this? So let's start from the top, shall we? And go over this film together. If you want to watch the full film, then there is a full version available for free on YouTube. The movie starts with a young cricket named Cricket Crockett moving into a toy maker's house. The toy maker, Caleb, is a sweet old man with a daughter, Bertha. And Caleb invites Cricket to live in his toy shop as he heard having a cricket on the hearth brings good luck. Cricket accepts, and as he's settling in, he learns Bertha is engaged to a man named Edward. And Edward is being called to serve in the Navy, and they will be apart for a very, very long time. Cricket adapts to life with Caleb and Bertha, helping them make beautiful toys filled with love. And then a year and a half after Edward's departure, a creepy green man comes to tell them Edward went down with his ship. And the news shocks Bertha so much she goes blind. And let me just say, I love the symbolism in the doll she was painting. There's a song where she explains that thinking of Edward makes her smile and cry, and she sings this song while painting the face on a doll in a wedding dress. And during the song, this doll seems to represent her, and before she can finish the eyes of the doll, she's delivered the shock that renders her blind. I think that is really cool storytelling right there. Not sure if it came from the book or from the movie writers, but either way, it's beautiful. Anyway, Caleb ends up neglecting his shop to take care of his now blind daughter, and spending all his money on doctors hoping she could get her sight back. He ends up having to close his shop and going into severe debt. After closing his shop and being evicted, he tries to get work, but he's too old. He's about to give up when Cricket notices a toy shop and suggests they try to get a job there. So Caleb goes inside the toy shop, and the owner, Tackleton, agrees to give him a job, but he only agrees to give him room and board in exchange for full-time services. Caleb, desperate, takes the job, and he convinces blind Bertha that they are much better off than they really are. faking the voices of servants and giving her the best of everything they've got to make her think they live more extravagantly than they do. Cricket doesn't really like this situation, because Caleb is being taken advantage of, Bertha believes everything is fine, and Tackleton's evil raven keeps trying to eat him. Or maybe it's a crow, but I'm calling it a raven. Time passes and Cricket and Caleb make toys for Tackleton. However, Tackleton is incredibly stingy. He wants Caleb to do the bare minimum on the toys because doing any more is a waste of paint and supplies. But Caleb and Cricket don't have the heart to let those toys go to children, so late every night they go back to the workshop and fix up the toys before putting them in their boxes to be sold. It's getting close to Christmas time, and by getting close, I mean it's practically Christmas Eve. Caleb stumbles across an elderly man who needs help, and Caleb, being the kind-hearted soul he is, invites the man to stay with him. The elderly man accepts and seems moved by Caleb and Bertha and their whole story. And then Christmas Eve, while the elderly man is gone, Tackleton shows up. He gives Caleb a 4-shilling Christmas bonus and offers to marry Bertha, because she's pretty and he wants a wife. But Bertha has thought this entire time that Tackleton was kind and nice and handsome. So after Tackleton leaves to give her some time to think about it, Bertha tells her father and Cricket she will marry Tackleton. Caleb doesn't want to break her heart and tell the truth, so he decides to let her marry the man, and then the elderly man returns with news of his own. Bertha interrupts and tells him she's getting married, and then he kind of brushes it all off in a melancholy way. Look at this man and tell me you didn't see this coming. Tell me. Please tell me. Did you not see this coming? I'm getting off topic. Cricket decides that he will not let the wedding happen, and when Tackleton returns to hear Bertha's answer, Cricket sabotages the whole thing with Pepper. Tackleton knows it was Cricket who sabotaged him and tasks his raven with killing Cricket once and for all. This leads to the weirdest scene in the movie where the raven goes looking for help at a weird club.
Diamonds, furs, and ocean trips, they don't go with tuppence tips.
Let's try to move on. The raven gets the help of a monkey, I think, and a dog thing to kidnap Cricket and sell him to a ship captain who will resell Cricket in China for a lot of money. The three of them capture Cricket and way overdo it. It's a freaking cricket. You don't need all this get-up. Rope and a gag? They take Cricket to the captain and ask for their payment. Then this happens.
I've got your payoff right here, lad.
That got dark. Moving on again! Cricket fakes his death and the captain throws him overboard. He makes it back to the mainland by riding on a series of fish, and by the time he gets back to the toy shop, it's almost midnight. Betha has started working on her wedding dress. She's accepted Tackleton's proposal. Cricket is desperate to stop her now and has no idea what to do. Then midnight comes. Turns out in this universe, toys come to life every year on Christmas Eve at midnight for 1 hour. And the toys are grateful to Caleb, Cricket, and Bertha for fixing them up, so they tell Cricket a secret. The old man is freaking Edward. The toys explain that Edward didn't go down with the ship and just got stranded on a remote island until he could make his way home. How these toys know this, I don't know. But it's also living toys, so I don't think I should question it. The toys run out of time and go back to their toy ways, and Cricket gives Edward a piece of his mind. Edward explains that after seeing grief-struck Bertha blind, he couldn't risk hurting her again, especially now that she's marrying another man. He thinks it's best just to leave. Cricket disagrees and says that Bertha is in love with Edward and always will be, so they go inside to wake Bertha and tell her. This scene is odd because it's super sweet, but maybe a little too much.
Bertha? Wake up now. Ow. Gentle. Come on, gentle. It's only me.
Oh, Cricket. You're back. You're safe. Cricket? Cricket? Oh.
Darling.
Am I dreaming? Oh, Edward. Edward.
See what I mean? Well, Edward and Bertha get married the next day, leaving Tackleton at his altar by himself. And he comes back all upset because Bertha got married to someone else while he was waiting. Bertha tells Tackleton she's in love with Edward, but she will always love Tackleton too because he's such a sweet man. And then Tackleton has a bit of a heart change and a little redemption. The story ends with that happily ever after and an old Cricket resting on a brand new hearth. You don't get an update on Edward, Bertha, Caleb, or Tackleton though. Just old Cricket, who is also the narrator. Now let me just say, the songs in this movie are surprisingly good. Caleb has quite the powerful voice, Bertha sounds sweet, and even Edward and the singing cat sound alright.
Don't give your love away. Wait for me, I will come back to you. And we'll have 1,000 days of May. Don't give your love away.
No Christmas tree, no decorations, just you and me. It can be Christmas then. For Christmas lives in the hearts of
Lullabies and fairy tales, pinafores, piano scales, satin bows and cheeks of rose. That was yesterday.
I love the simplicity in the animation designs, especially Bertha's design. It's simple, yet still pretty and visually interesting. Edward's chin is a bit much, but he still looks good. Same with Caleb. And then Cricket is very Jiminy looking, which I don't hate. I don't, however, like the designs of all the unimportant characters in Tackleton. Overly cartoonist evil designs that make Bertha, Caleb, Edward, and Cricket feel almost out of place. But then again, that seems to work in the movie's favor as well. The overly cartoonish evil paired up against the more simple and sweet protagonists. I guess it kind of works in that sense. There are times when the animation is just awful, mainly during the singing.
Let my heart hold through.
It's kind of hard to appreciate the music when you're watching Edward segue on the screen. But considering the movie's age, there are a lot of animation moments that hold up really well, and a lot of it is just so pretty to look at. Story-wise, I do like the plot. I mean, I feel like a lot of it doesn't mesh with itself, and I don't know what was from the book and what was from the movie, so I'm just going to address the entire plot as if it all came from the movie. The plot in itself is fairly simple, and I think it works for the most part. The whole romance with Bertha and Edward was a little cheesy, but also is believable for the time it was set in. I feel like they could have fleshed it out more, but I understand they only had 45 minutes to work with, and also Edward died 5 minutes into the movie, so there wasn't really anything left to flesh out at that point until much later in the movie. Sure, I think that the whole blind thing and Caleb going into poverty, desperately trying to fix the problem, isn't exactly an original plot point, and it is a little nonsensical, but I also think it works. Caleb trying to make the situation with Tackleton seem like a good one is super sweet. However, I feel like Bertha would still find out the truth. She should be able to recognize her father imitating the different voices because it still sounds like him. She should be able to feel the cold and the poor state of their new home and the fact that it's only one room just by feeling around. I feel like the lying shouldn't have lasted as long as it did. She should have figured it out. Tackleton trying to marry Bertha and her accepting can still be a plot point. She could have agreed because she saw more to him, as a person or out of desperation. I feel like the first is better, that way they could keep his redemption thing. The old man being Edward I think should be less obvious. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Not to mention, there's even times when he forgets to imitate an old man. But I guess maybe it works? Because it's been like 3 years since they've seen Edward and like 2 since he died. At this point, I guess neither of them would have any reason to believe Edward was still alive. So maybe it is okay. I think where the story really starts to fall apart is after the proposal. This is what I think should have happened. Edward in disguise should announce his departure to Bertha and Caleb and actually leave for the boatyard. Trust me on this. Cricket didn't need help from the random animals to sabotage Tackleton, and Tackleton shouldn't have reacted to the pepper the way he did. Unless there's an established allergy earlier in the story, he really shouldn't have run from the room like that in a fit of sneezing. I think a different way of sabotage should be implemented, like maybe Home Alone style traps. Hey, both Christmas movies. Cricket has been established to be fairly strong for his size and smart. He could work up something with twine to entangle Tackleton, which makes himself fall into a shelf of paint buckets. It would be just as effective in making him leave, funnier, and make more sense. And it's just twine. Cricket could do it on his own. They could also establish that Tackleton has a fear of bugs, and they have to keep Cricket a secret. The raven, I suppose, can be kept as well. After Tackleton realizes there's a cricket, he would release his raven to catch it. The raven shouldn't go to this random joint to get help. It's a freaking cricket. He should literally just try to eat it. But rather than the whole sell the cricket to the captain gig, I think the raven should just chase Cricket around town until Cricket eventually loses the raven, but is then lost himself. He ends up in the boatyard late at night and spots the old man, a familiar face, and he's walking up to the old man to ask for help, but then Edward takes off his wig and beard because he doesn't think anyone is watching. Doing it this way would get rid of the toy plot point, which made no sense. I guess it looked cool in the animation sense, like it was nice and clean, and it was definitely aimed for the kids in the audience, but there's just no reason for it to exist. Cricket can still give Edward a piece of his mind and convince Edward to go back. After Edward gets back and they wake Bertha and Edward can plan to get married. Tackleton can still get his little redemption and treat Caleb better, actually paying him so he can buy his own house. Then the movie should end with an update on everyone rather than just old Cricket. Just something that shows their life is turned around. Since it's a Charles Dickens novella, I feel like that's all I should do with changing the plot. Honestly, I feel like this story deserves a live-action retelling with a realistic CGI Cricket. Maybe he can still talk, maybe he doesn't talk. Hey, I'd love to be the one to give Cricket on the Hearth a remake, but let's be honest. Is it gonna happen? I just think that they should show this movie some love. Yeah, it's not perfect, but neither are most Christmas specials. And I am a firm believer that underrated stories deserve remakes so they can get the love they deserve. But I doubt that's gonna happen. I hope you enjoyed your visit to Fix It Theater, and if you still haven't seen the movie for yourself, check it out on YouTube. And let me know what you think of the film and what you might do differently. I hope you'll visit again soon, and I will see you in the comments.